soft lace in my...
Hey YouTube, welcome to Sans World. It's been a long time, but I don't want to speak about how long it's been since I've sat in front of the camera and actually did a talking video. I sound like one of those YouTubers. And I'm not even there yet. I don't even have the amount of subscribers they have. But nonetheless, I'm here. So much has happened since my last video, which has probably been about 6 months ago. So much has happened. I graduated from college. Finally. Finally graduated from undergrad. Can I say finally one more time? Is there a band on how many finalies? On how many finalies? Fine. You know what? Whatever. On how many finalies I'm able to use? Yeah. So I'll let you guys know I'm 27 years old, and I think according to society I am way past the age of undergrad. According to society, you know, of being an undergrad. And I must say that I've been studying in college, my undergrad degree, for about 9 years. Yes, 9 long, unforgettable years that I won't ever get back. So I spent pretty much all my 20s in college, in undergrad. Am I mad? Honestly, no. So this is what the whole video is going to be about. I'm going to speak about my experience of being in college, fresh out of high school, and just the process of being in college and how I was able to make it to the end. I mean, it's definitely not the end. I'm not even sure what the future has, but I'm just going to be speaking about that. And let's get it right into the video. I hate this top because it's supposed to be a shoulder off, but every time, I never understand these things. Anyways, I'm not going to get off topic. So, I graduated high school in 2010, and prior to graduation, that whole period, I was unsure about what I wanted to do. At first I thought I knew what I wanted to do. I wanted to be an orthodontist, Camille. And I was like, yeah, this is what I want to do. And, you know, then I started to think, I'm like, Camille, do you really want to be in people's mouths for the rest of your life? And I was like, second thought, no, I don't. And then I made a list. I literally made a list of things that I like to do, and they were pretty much hands-on, artistically inclined things. I love art, and I love drawing, I love making art, I love painting, I love anything that has to do with art. And I listed all those things. I like to make people happy, and I like to bring things to life, and just being able to see my creation come to life is just something that brings me joy. And so somehow architecture came about. And so I was like, yes, that's it. I'm going to study architecture. I'm going to be an architect. Divine. And I applied to schools for architectural program. I got into all but one. So I applied to like 6 schools, and I got into 5, and I didn't get into one, which was UB, the University of Buffalo. We'll get into that later. And I got into Boston Architectural College. That was my number one because that's where I wanted to go. And it was it is a private school, very expensive, and middle to low income family, so I needed all the money, monetary help that I could get, and that school wasn't giving it to me. So my dad suggested a CUNY school, and then, you know, transfer from there into the school that I wanted to go to. If you hear any background noises, it's the rain. It's rain and beauty. Thank you, Lord. And so I ended up going to New York City College of Technology in Brooklyn. Shout outs to, I'm not really sure who to shout out to, but shout out anyways. And yeah, so, you know, I went there for not 2, 3 years. 3? Yeah, for 3 years. And got my associate's degree, and then transferred to a private school, which wasn't smart because I was still in this mindset that I wanted to go to a great school that, you know, had a great reputation for, you know, students that graduated with an architectural degree, and that was accredited, because the school, City Tech was not. City Tech is the school that I went to in Brooklyn. It was not accredited, so it would be like me not really studying architecture, and I didn't want that. So I was like, the better the school is, the better I'm gonna be. So, you know, I wasn't thinking. And I didn't necessarily like consult my dad for any help. I just knew that I wanted to go there and not thinking about price. So I went to New York's, oh my gosh, my brain, New York Institute of Technology in Manhattan, and only spent a semester and a half, I believe, or a semester. Yes, it was a semester, and that was in 2014. So after that one semester, I couldn't afford to go back to school because it was just so expensive, and I had to stop. And honestly, during that time, I was very devastated. And I basically worked half of a year or so, and with the help of my dad, was able to pay whatever I owed the school. And I was just like, I can't do this. I felt out of, like, I didn't have much options. Like, I wasn't sure what I was going to do, if I was just going to keep working and just keep working, and, you know, but I knew that I wanted to go back to school. There was no doubt about it, but I couldn't go back to that specific school, even if I wanted to. It was just not smart. And thankfully, my cousins, who at the time attended UB, University of Buffalo, suggested that I apply. They have a really great architecture program. I was like, I applied when I wanted to go there, and they denied me access to their prestigious program. So I was slightly hurt. So I was, you know, bitter and, you know, hesitant to apply, but I did anyways, and I got in, and I ended up starting UB in 2015. So at this time, I had high school friends that were already graduated from their undergrad and either pursuing a master's degree or in their dream job. And here I was, still in undergrad, and just I got into this mindset of comparing myself to other people, comparing myself to the group that I should be with. And that literally ate away at me for a couple of months. And I had to come to the realization, and it wasn't like, you know, automatic. It took some time because I noticed what I was doing. I was looking at their success and comparing my lack of success with theirs. And you, as a human being, you cannot function like that. So I gradually, you know, from talking to people and just trying to understand myself that although I was in this group, you know, in high school, and although we're supposed to be on this same path, that in reality, that's not how life is. Your life is different. Each and every person's life is different. And each and every person's struggle and their time of struggle is different. So my struggle of school started really early compared to all my other classmates. So that took a toll on me. And now let's draw back a little bit and get into the fact that I was now at UB and I thought I wanted to pursue architecture, and even in that career field, I figured out that not that I didn't want to be an architect, but I didn't want to be the architect that I started out thinking that I would be this divine, incredible architect that's solely about me. And I think UB really helped me to understand that, or the path that I should be taking, that it wasn't necessarily designing just for myself, but it was being able to create an environment that is beneficial to other human beings, because I'm in that position to help somebody else. And I was like, that is what I want to do. I want to be able to help other people to design for their benefit. So that whole switcheroo, I ended up changing my major. So that is, there again, another 4 years in undergrad. So 2015 up until 2018. Yeah, so that's my life as an undergrad at 27. And I'm proud. So I would tell anyone that I would do it over. Not that I would do it over, but because I know that at the end of the tunnel, that I'm okay now, and that regardless of, the success of others, that I'm on my own path to success, whatever the definition of success might be. So that was my undergrad experience. And even within my program, I struggled to finish on time. I think I was supposed to finish in 2017, 16, and that didn't even happen. So, yes. But let's get to the lesson at hand, because that's why I'm here. So, or not even lesson, but the main key points that I think I would want to advise any person that is fresh out of high school or currently in college and just unsure of what they want to do, and maybe are doing things for other people and not necessarily for themselves, or have just had a rough college experience and is trying to make it, but still struggling to understand that our paths are different than our friends, than our parents, than whomever. And so what I feel like people fail to mention when they are encouraging people is that they themselves have gone through some struggles. And that's what I wanted to showcase, is that I have struggled, and it has been a rough time for me adjusting to that, feeling like I am left behind always in my life. And that is due to comparison. So it's like we grew up in this system where if you don't perform as everybody else, you're going to be left behind. And that's something that no child wants. And so it's always that we carry that throughout our lives, and we can't be left behind from the group. We have to stay together. We're the same age. We're in the same class. We have to, and that's not how life is. Life is so flamboyant. It is the most unstable thing ever. And I feel like as humans, we are made to be adjustable. And because society has somehow conditioned us to believe that we have to follow this straight and narrow path to success, and that's the only way, but not understanding that you can go to college and study something and end up in, after graduating, that's not the thing that you're actually working in. That's not the field that you're working in. And so I would say eliminate comparison. This is your time to learn about yourself, to learn what you like, what you hate, what you can tolerate, and what you're willing, and how much work you're willing to put out for something. So I feel like it's a moment to embrace it and just eliminate comparisons with other people. And number 2, I would say feeling as though you're not with the in crowd. And I guess it goes hand in hand with comparison. So, they always have this saying, oh, stay in your lane, I'm doing me, whatever. Actually listen to that. So pick something, and it's hard to even, I wouldn't recommend anyone and how to pick what they want to do, because it changes. And I feel like you have to somehow be willing to adjust to life, to the things that happen. And one of the biggest things that is a lesson for me is the financial aspect of college. Now, I never got a scholarship to go to college, and this all either came out of pocket or loans. And so, hunties and hunkles out there, I have racked it up. I've racked it up. I've racked up that loan bank, and that's the only downside to this whole thing of spending almost 9 years in undergrad, that I've racked up so much loans, and it's driving me crazy to the point anxiety's literally crawling up my back.
Coming to get you.
And I'm like, bro, let me live, So that's that. I would say try your best to apply for scholarships with everything that you can do. Get good grades. Bring up your GPA as best as you can, and literally try for these scholarships. Even if you don't have the greatest GPA, still try, because loans aren't pretty, okay? They aren't. And I wish my dad was very encouraging when it comes to not taking out loans, and when it comes to applying for scholarships. He was very optimistic, and I wasn't, because I was just I'm never gonna get anything. So I did apply for scholarships, but I didn't get any that I applied for. I got close, but I didn't get any. So I was disappointed, and I just felt like nothing good is going to happen, or ever going to happen in my life. And yeah, I kind of gave up on the whole applying to scholarships, even through college, or throughout my college term life. College is my whole life. I wish I could go back in time and somehow figure out, or not even figure out, but I feel like I should have been a lot more smarter. And although your loans are in deferment because you're attending school, you don't get any interest like added to it. So if I were smart, and I would encourage anyone out there to pay your loans as you take them out so that you don't incur a lot of interest on them. Because once you get out of that grace period, the interest is gonna just add on to it each year. And I wish I was smart to, you know, as I take them out, I pay on them, and I feel like I wouldn't have as much. So I would encourage anyone, if you are unable to get any scholarships and you do end up taking out loans, try your best, if you're able to get a job, to pay on those loans as you take them out, just to help with it once you graduate. And I would then say, embrace your journey. College is fun, and you will definitely meet a lot of great people and professors that can literally change your life and change how you think about life in general, or think about, you know, the world. And make sure you speak to your professors. Don't just go to class and leave and not say anything. Let your professors know that you're here. I'm here to learn. I'm here. My presence is here. Hello, somebody. You know, because you're going to need them to write you recommendations. And you're just going to need some good professors in your corner to help you out, because they have connections, and this world somehow works off of connections. So I hope my video was helpful. Hope you got some sort of tips, but I don't know if I actually labeled them in order. But I would say that just don't compare yourself with other people, and that your journey is yours, and don't take for granted, you know, your struggles, because they literally make you who you are going to be, or who you're intended to be. And yeah, that's it, guys. Catch you on the flip side.